Join us as we interview retired State Representative Danny Watson as he discusses his years of service and what his plans are moving forward. Brought to you by SWARC Today. And I'm here with Danny Watson at the Hope Suite at Hempstead Hall, and we wanted to visit with you a little bit today because how many years have you served now as
This is
representative?
my 8th year, my 4th term.
Fourth term, and since this is his last term, we thought we would chat a little bit about your years serving us.
Absolutely, okay.
We appreciate everything you've done, but tell us, to kind of conclude your years as a representative, what do you think you'll take away with you the most from this experience? Like maybe big lessons learned or your impression overall?
This has been absolutely the most honorable 8 years that I have ever done in my life, that I ever had a chance to serve. It's been a pleasure to represent the voters in Hempstead, Nevada, redistricting, Hempstead, Howard, and part of Miller County. Not everybody has the opportunity to do this. This is a privilege. And I tell people a lot of times when I first got elected, I learned you could put a suit and a tie on anybody and press a button when it comes time to vote. Yes, no, or present. I said, you could train anybody to do that. And that's important. I'm not being facetious on that, but the everyday part of the work of a serving in the legislature is constituent work. That's answering that telephone. The emails, exactly. You run across somebody at the grocery store, not avoiding them.
Being available.
Being available. I mean, that is the important part. For example, 2 weeks ago, I returned a phone call from a young man that actually graduated from high school with my wife. And he had moved off several states away, and he's been back about 3 or 4 months. And he had a question on something that, I'll be honest with you, April, I had to shore myself up a little bit ahead of time to know exactly what he was talking about. And I played the voicemail twice to make sure I understood the word. And the word was, it had to do with currency. And so it had to do with crypto, bullion, gold bars and stuff. I don't deal with this every day. I'm just saying. But this is his forte. This is his expertise. So anyway, when I called him back, and I had my iPad right in front of me, and I had the state law on this, and he said, "Who is this again?" And I said, "This is State Representative Danny Watson from Hope. How are you?" "Well, hang on just a minute." And he was taken back that I called him back so quickly. And he says, "This just reaffirms my thought process on elected officials." And he says, "I feel better today." That made me feel better. For the fact that we wound up having a good good conversation on this, and I have followed up with this young man on this. But anyway, that's just one little small thing. Number one, this was on his mind. This was important because he never would have called me up to start with. And he said, "I don't know who else to call to. They told me to call the state representative." And I get that a lot. And that's what we're supposed to do. That is so important. And this is just a freebie here. And you haven't asked this. Any senator or state representative that comes out and says, they know about everything, they're well versed in everything, shoot, go ahead, bring it on. I'd be careful with those people. I'm just saying. I would be leery of them. I would never give them a call because that's not why we got elected. But we do have the resources, and we do know who to turn to in order to get your answer. And I really do. I hope the new ones really pay attention to that, and don't be ashamed to say on the phone call or the email or whatever you may get from a constituent, "I really don't know. Give me your phone number, please, so I can follow back up on you."
Find out.
That is really, really, really critical. I cannot emphasize that enough.
So really, in this position, you need to be willing to learn and know that you're willing to learn and share that with people.
Yes.
You've probably, like with any job, with the job I have, I've learned more about my own community in the last 3 years than in all the years I've lived here.
And just one more thing. I don't mean to keep leading this, but another example was 2.5, 3 years ago. And this, what I'm fixing to mention, April, was new to you. This was new to the college. This was new to me. because it had never happened. That's a thing called COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think I had all the answers? And I appreciate the schools contacting me. I really do. Even though I worried a lot, let me tell you what, it made me do more research than I ever thought. I got so tired of hearing that word, but it was important.
Right, yeah.
And also, it was a game changer, and the game constantly kept changing the different rules. Because if you remember, all our feedback is flowing down from the federal government.
Yeah.
So I hate to say, but I had to say it many, many times. I'm going to try to give you a shout tomorrow about lunchtime. Is that fair? I mean, they're calling, they're wanting to know because these principals, these school superintendents, health departments, the head of the health departments for the different units across the counties, they're wanting to know. And many times the state, the governor's office is so inundated with phone calls and stuff, it was hard for them to keep pace up. They keep that pace going. So anyway, that was one of the things there that didn't bother me at all because, I just kept saying in my mind, hey, this is new. The previous legislators had never been through this before. So
nobody had ever been through that in our lifetime anyway. It's like, I kept saying, I feel like we're in a science fiction novel.
Exactly,
crazy.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, a good segue into my next question. Out of the last 8 years, is there any specific issue or problem or even a piece of legislature that you passed or helped pass that you're most proud of?
Being consistent, yes, it is. There's several. Being consistent on, and I really kind of hesitate about bringing it up, but this is also not only local, statewide, and nation, and it's a big one for something I stand for, is about the protecting the unborn.
Okay.
That is a big one. And then again, the other ones, would say, who do I think I am telling a woman what she can or cannot do with her body? I get that. Lord, do I get that. But I have been consistent on that. I have not flip-flopped on that. Being tough on crime, that's easy to say. Yeah, I'm going to be tough on crime. Well, with my background in law enforcement in many years, my dad's retired law enforcement officer, my uncles, my cousins, all in that line of work. My youngest son's a police officer, but truly tough on crime. That is something that I have been consistent with, and they knew it when I first ran in 2016. And I think people saw that and believed in it, and I believe they believed that to this day. So that's another issue that I'm going to remain strong on, even when I'm not serving in the legislature. As far as the incarcerated individuals, whatever opportunities out there that they qualify for to turn their life around, to potentially get off the addictions they have or the perversions they have, the mental health, I'm all about that also.
Okay.
So, I mean, not just incarcerate them, but if they're worthy of it and they want to be helped, let's find the avenues. That is really, really important. Education is another one that's big time. I am so proud that this state is really is broadening more of what we're having right now as far as 2-year and 4 years educational, the technical opportunities, because that is important. We're hearing that all the time in the state of Arkansas. I hear that from my colleagues in Hot Springs, Forest City, Texarkana, Nashville, right here. And I really feel good, and I think there's going to be some positives going to be coming on that the legislature is going to go ahead and vote and to propel this even higher than what we have right now.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, moving forward, at the time of this filming, the election has not happened. But by the time this airs, whoever will be elected, do you have advice for the next Arkansas State Representative in this district?
The only thing I would say is be yourself.
Yeah.
Be yourself. Do not change. Do not change. I'm still the Danny Watson I was when I got elected in November 5th, 2016. Just be honest to the voters and give it all. There's going to be a lot of highs, and there are going to be a lot of lows. I guess like any profession, though. But keep your faith in Jesus Christ, and He'll guide you. That's the best advice I could give.
And you moving forward, what's next for you now?
I don't know. I have 4 grandkids. I hope I could travel just a little bit more.
Yeah.
I had opportunity a week ago to see my oldest California son. I haven't seen him in a year and a half. He lives in Northern California. He had to do a day's work in Shreveport and flew down real quick. And hopefully to see my youngest granddaughter there a little bit more and continue games. I have nothing definitive. I'm really not looking for anything. Where he leads, I'll follow. That's the way I look at it.
Best way too.
I'm just going to enjoy life, and as far as public service, I'm not stopping that. and you've heard me say before, you may not remember that. I think you know what I'm fixing to say right now. And I really don't want to be remembered as a politician. I want to be remembered as a public servant, because that's what I did before I got elected, and this has been an absolute pleasure, and I thank you.
Well, we thank you for being with us, and good luck in your retirement.
Thank you.